Okay, there we go. Hello.
All right.
We're here.
We are here.
I'm excited about today's topic.
All right. So who are you?
This week, I am an amazing woman who will make room for her desires while holding herself accountable to the places she sees herself growing.
Who's that one person? Yeah.
That's who's really doing it, though. That's the one who's really celebrating you. That's the one who's in your corner.
And I am an incredibly talented woman who draws boundaries and loves herself enough to keep them. Okay, I'm gonna clap for that too.
Yes. We're talking about being kind to ourselves today.
And this is Add Joy.
Where life plus joy equals satisfaction.
All right. So kindness and courtesy is what we're talking about this season. It is thinking and behaving in a friendly, respectful manner that conveys compassion and avoids causing hurt or inconvenience to yourself or others.
And in line with our theme today, which is being kind to yourself, I think this one is going to go down to another one that people have to just keep rewatching over and over again so they can get it. We're going to start with random acts of kindness and courtesy one can do for the self.
For the self.
For the self. What's the first one?
Wake up 10 minutes earlier to give yourself time to do something that starts your day in joy. Yay. I do this. I have to play my games in the morning. I have to play all. I have card games I want to play. I have word games I want to play. I schedule probably 45 additional minutes.
That's good. You told me to do that. Remember, you were like, don't get rid of the playtime.
Schedule it. Just schedule it. Drop it right on in there.
It starts that day in joy. I've started to write down 3 things I think I'm going to win in today.
Oh, that's good.
And even if it's just, and I mean, it could be just something small, like
all I do is win,
no matter what. Even if it's like I'm gonna take a vitamin, you know what I mean?
Well,
like, I don't make it
that's
huge,
good.
and I mean, like, I'm gonna clear off my to-do list. No,
But if you announce it,
you know. But if I announce, just some
You'll
things,
do
and
it.
then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I had 3 wins.
oh, that's good.
It's nice.
And so you check in with yourself also at the end. That's nice. I like that.
Make a quick list of things that you are grateful for. You're talking about just a quick little moment of joy.
Yeah.
That's just a kind thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And this can also calm you down. Like if you're in a state of just, I can't stand that motherfucker. No,
Let me just
let me write down why I love him. It can take you out of it.
It can
for
take
a
you out of it for a second.
Yeah.
That's good.
Call someone who is hilarious. Someone, if you just down in the dumps, you have that one friend. I really like when I get random calls from friends. And we may have not have talked in years, but I love it when they call like we talked yesterday. Like we're not
catching
doing
right up.
Yeah, we're not doing
Girl,
all
let
the
me tell you,
pleasantries.
right?
We go
Just
right
jump
into.
in.
I was on Facebook and I saw you talk about who this man you talking about, and we just go right in. Yeah, it just brings up your mood.
It's kind. It's kind to do that to yourself. Celebrate an achievement or even just a Thursday because you made it to Thursday and it's no longer Monday with a small treat that you enjoy. And the treat doesn't have to be something that sets you off of your path. You know what I mean? By treat, that just means something that you enjoy and celebrate you.
This is a good one. Give yourself a compliment. And I mean, I'm not just saying look in the mirror and be like, I love you because I'm talking about in conversation with someone else. Shout your own self out. We were at this event I was at yesterday. We were talking about something. We were talking about the one who got away. and I was saying, I'm the one who got away for some of these people out here because I'm a bad bitch.
What? Absolutely. We're definitely the ones who got away. That's not even arrogance.
I said it out loud to a group of strangers.
Our exes would agree. Stop joking.
Sometimes you gotta just call a thing a thing.
I mean, yeah, okay, you got that one. You ain't gotta say it on your podcast, but dang, okay. What? Yes. Write yourself a love note and hide it in your work bag or something to be found later. Write yourself a little something and just put it somewhere. Put it in a book you know that you're going to look at, and put it in a folder you know that you're going to get to this week, and surprise yourself with a little love note from you.
Yeah, that's very kind to oneself. Mm-hmm. And then finally, drink some water.
Listen, and then mind your business right afterwards. Just drink it.
Where did I see somebody said, stay hydrated, bitch?
It's life change. It's such a courteous. I'm telling you,
it is. Water,
it's a courteous
water
thing to do.
is. You never regret having a drink of water. That thing will always serve its purpose. Always.
Yep.
Always.
It's just a little act of kindness to do to yourself.
Yes.
Yep. So the past few episodes, like I said, I've really been enjoying this season, but we focused on being kind and courteous to others. And we know is that kindness starts from within.
Yeah. So for many, this might be the most difficult of the charges yet. Anytime you're asked to do something, I realize that we let ourselves down so often. We would be embarrassed to let others down, but we don't see that same embarrassment when it comes to ourselves.
So used to doing ourselves that
way. And so it's actually difficult for us to be courteous to ourselves, but it truly is the most important.
Yes. It's how we're going to learn to be kind to other people. If we're not kind and courteous to ourselves, we're probably not doing a great job. Not the job we think we could do, in terms of being that way towards other people. It's important to recognize when you're just in a gentle season. Sometimes you are resilient, you are tough as nails, and you are just jumping over those hurdles like the little dude in Donkey Kong. And climbing up on little ladders. Remember he used to do that? He's climbing over the little barrel comes down. He's just, you know what I mean? And then sometimes the barrel just hits you and then he just sits there and then he just melts away. Mm-hmm. We all have those seasons. Recognize when you're in one. When this is a season where, I'm going to cry easily in this season. Or this is a season where you can't talk to me too crazy. You know what I mean? You're going to have to give me a moment. I need gentleness right now. Right? Acknowledge when it is just your time to take it easy. When you need to go lay down. I'm going to do less. Can you stay later? Not because I'm not committed to it, not because I don't care, but this is a season where I just need to lay down. I'm tired. You might have to be less present. That actually is a kindness to yourself sometimes. We plague ourselves with guilt if we're not on 24/7 on full blast. Sometimes we have to just do just enough. Mm-hmm. And not always, but sometimes we do just enough because that's the season we're in right now. Mm-hmm. But recognizing that you're in that season is the kindness. Mm-hmm. It's kind to look at yourself and be like, I got to say no to that. And I'm going to have to say no to probably everything until February because that's the season I'm in.
I'm in that season. I am there. I have announced it. And I'm also in the season of letting my friends take care of me. My friend, y'all are the real MVPs. Y'all have been showing up and showing out, like stopping by my house. Girl, I had a friend call me the other day. I'm not even going to say her name because she wasn't even supposed to be in town. She didn't want anybody to know she was here. But she was like, Marty,
let me poppy.
Get your house ready because I'm about to show up. We're just going to sit on the sofa and drink wine and watch TV. Come right on.
That's a good time.
Come right. She was like, I'm at Whole Foods. You need anything? Mm-hmm. I'm just coming over to just sit in your presence. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And no, I can't do that. I can do this, but I can't do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think we're afraid to ask for that wide berth sometimes. And again, we're not talking about all the time. We're not talking about all the time. Always handle me with kid gloves. Not all the time. And understand though, when that's that season for you, that kind of paying attention to yourself is also a courtesy.
Yep.
Right? That's also a way of being kind to yourself, knowing what season you're in. Sometimes you're in the season to tackle everything and just carry things on your shoulders. And sometimes you're in the season of, I'm not carrying nothing right now. Sorry.
And sometimes this is difficult for people to figure out. When you are often resentful, when you are often snapping at things, when you find yourself just sad often, this is your season. This is your season.
Take
and
it down
it's
a notch.
okay.
Yeah.
And you need to sit down somewhere and be still and just tell people, yep, don't have it. I forgot to put on my lipstick.
I was about to be, what are you getting?
I'm going to be kind to myself. And
be kind. Even though, I got to tell you, you still had a little stain. It was on there. That noise had to be made.
All right. So recognize and acknowledge and acknowledge when others are being kind to you. Maybe they didn't do it to your standard.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't do it in the way that you feel like you would have given it to them. But understand, when somebody has taken the time to give unto you, just sit there and receive it. You don't need to, in that moment, respond with all of the ways that they failed you. They were thinking about you. They wanted to do something nice. They did it. Just soak it up. Yeah.
Sometimes we get caught in what we want from a person, right? We want them to do this, and we might miss the kindness that still exists, right? It's okay to still want the thing from that person. It's clear to say that, right? But we don't want to miss the kindness that they're trying to show, the courtesies that they're trying to show, because they're not doing something we want them to do. Exactly
in the way we want them to do. Yeah.
Right? That their effort is the kindness, right? Pay attention to yourself, right? Reward your accomplishments. That is kind and courteous. The same way that if something fantastic happens to you, how you would feel if you were to tell your best friends about it and they just, I don't care. Or I say nothing, about it at all, right? Don't do that. You do it, right? You don't do that because you're doing that to yourself. We want other people to recognize and honor our accomplishments, but we have to do that as well. Reward yourself. Take notes of your strengths, right? And play to them. I'm really good at this. I'm going to concentrate on this. That's good. That's a kindness, right, to yourself. And I think it's also a kindness to spend time getting to know what you like and what makes you feel special. In the last episode, we talked about a teacher who said, there was another teacher who left the building, and I wanted her to know that I was thinking about her, and I sent her a note and her favorite cookie. And you were talking about how, how would she know that was even her favorite cookie? That's paying attention. Pay attention to your own stuff. Do you know your favorite cookie?
So you can buy it for yourself. When you're out, when you talk about that little treat. So
what
let me go stop and go get my favorite cookie. Mine is Snickerdoodle, if anybody wanted to know.
Mine is a taco and a corn tortilla. Look, I even have it on. Come on, listen to me. Look at me being kind to myself.
That's funny. Okay, give yourself grace and understanding.
Please, oh Lord.
Yeah. So we've been talking in this season about understanding the context of a person's behavior or situation before you pass judgment and you are unkind to them. Do the same for yourself. Do the same for yourself.
I'm going to admit something. Sometimes I just I can really be unkind to myself. I can talk out loud and say something that I would never say out loud to another person. I'm literally going Kanika, that's so, here you go. Here you go, Kanika. Why can't you find anything? My God, why are you so, ooh. You know what I mean? I can hear myself talking to myself.
But you wouldn't say that to someone.
I would never. I would just help them look for it. Let's just find it, girl. I would never be like, you are so stupid. You never have your stuff organized. That's why you're late, because you don't have any. You're not together. I would just never talk to another person that way, because it doesn't grow them. That kind of critique doesn't grow them.
Pay attention to yourself like you do. You have to actually step outside. What would I say to the other person? Let me say that to me right now. Because you talk to yourself poorly because that in itself has become the habit.
Yep.
So in order to come out of it, you have to practice doing something radically different. You have to think about, I do this for others. Let me practice trying to do this for myself.
For me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe you haven't hung up your laundry because this has been an especially trying season for you. Let me tell you something. My bottom and my third floor are just in disarray. It is what it is. And
Look at this shrug I'm giving you right here.
and I, you know what? I am okay. It'll all get done. Eventually it will be fine. It's not going to be tomorrow, but it's going to be done. And I'm going to be okay with that. Yeah. So, consider that maybe this is a sign of you being overworked, not underqualified, right? Surely I could pick up after myself, but also I have to consider the fact that, when my house was flooded, we had to move back in here. There were boxes upon boxes. I had to refurnish this whole house. And so there are going to be rooms in this house that just aren't done yet.
That are coming along.
And it's okay.
They're in progress.
And it doesn't mean that I'm a terrible person.
Right.
It just means we had this unfortunate situation and we continue a couple years later to work through it.
But you see how that's giving yourself grace, right?
Yeah.
There's a kindness you would say to someone else. If you saw someone else going through something that you're going through, you know what I'm saying? Like you would say to them, okay, yeah. Because right now, that's not what we're worried about. Not with the things, not with the plates that you have spinning right now. We have to sometimes take stock on our own plates we have spinning and give ourselves just some grace.
Yeah. And this other one, forgive yourself. This is a heavy one, y'all. I was at an event this weekend and just a bunch of, it was so phenomenal. Just sister girls from 30s to 70s, just sharing and opening and talking. And it was so good. And this one sister told us this really personal story. And she brought it around by saying, the first time I went to therapy, it was to forgive my mother. But the second time I went to therapy was to forgive myself. Sometimes you have to really go and do the work. I'm not talking about just forgiving yourself in the moment. We have a whole lifetime of things we haven't forgiven ourselves for. There's so much that God, I wish I would have done that differently. Ooh, what would my life have been if I had done? Let's do the work to forgive ourselves, to set ourselves free from that. Because unless you do the active work of setting it free, it's still on you. Yeah. And even if it's not something that you think about every single day, when it does come up, it stings. It feels a little uncomfortable. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're saying it's an ongoing process, which it is. You know what I mean? I think that's something we help clients with it, which is heavier. You know what I mean? Of course, we help people, get joy in your life, and it's going to be woo-woo. You know what I mean? But it also sometimes we have to do some of that heavy lifting, which is clearing the pathway for joy. And if you haven't forgiven yourself in some areas, your joy can be limited. In order for like your full joy potential to be unleashed, you got to get rid of some of that baggage and let some of that stuff go. So another thing, do something sweet for you. If you think about the holidays, or you think about something, if you're in a relationship and you think about what can I do that's like sweet for my partner, what you would do is think about what they would like, right? And celebrate them. Do that for yourself. Think about what you would like, which would require knowing yourself. Again, I say that, but I mean, it sounds obvious, but it's not. I mean, sometimes we sit there and we're like, what would I want to do?
We don't explore ourselves as much as we explore other people.
And as much as we think we do. We think we know what we like. Do you? When given the chance to really just treat yourself.
If somebody were to say, I'd like to get you a gift, can you run off?
Right.
Just 5
Most of
things.
us are like,
some of us are like, I don't know, whatever you want to get me.
Or we're afraid to ask for what the thing is.
Ooh.
That's what it really is. Because a gift for me is you are offering to take Zuri. I love her dearly, but I'm afraid to say something like that. So I'd be like, a gift card to Amazon. I'd be like, actually, if you came over here and then she went to your house and y'all made cookies all night, she came back in the morning.
And she went away for just a
and
second.
I just slept all night, just, you know what I'm saying, and woke up on my own time. That would be such a gift. But you know what I mean? Like, we're afraid to ask that. That means we don't even know. You know what I mean? We're not even in touch with ourselves, right? So the way that you can put a smile on someone else's face, figure out how you put a smile on your own face. And make a list of these. You know, we're saying operationalize this. Don't just kind of keep this in a heady space where you watch the podcast and you're like, amen. Yeah, I'll say, okay, that's good. No, I'm saying keep a list because I need to be kind to myself today. The world has been unkind, so I'm going to get in my house and I'm going to be kind to me. What would that mean?
It's kind of like how they say, you know, nobody else can pleasure yourself the way you can. You know what pleases you. Yes, I'm talking about that.
It's so true. My God. Can you?
You know what kind of movies you want to watch. You know what words are gonna
set it off something proper. Like,
you know which toys hit that spot. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. You know,
just know what you like.
Know what you like.
Know
your
what you like.
Your pleasure. Your joy, you have to be more committed to it than someone else. When they come to you to ask you about, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. You should
at
already
least
know.
Be versed in it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not practicing it regularly, we work on that. But at least know what it is. Write it down. That's what we're saying. Literally.
Yeah.
Write it down so that you can always refer to it.
Yeah. So why is being kind to the self important? We often find ourselves in patterns of selecting friends or partners that are unkind to us. This might be because we haven't established a standard of kindness within ourselves. You will surround yourself with people who treat you at the level you treat you. Certain people cannot come into my space and say certain things to me. There are certain words that I would just be like, hold on now, because I don't say that to me. I don't allow me to say that. I don't say that to me. I don't say that to you. You're not going to come in here and say it to me. Like certain things like that. But again, we talked about it's a practice. Even if, you know, you'll excuse the way people treat you. Sometimes you'll think to yourself, well, it wasn't that bad. I mean, they weren't beating me.
I do that.
Yes. And it's still damaging you.
Still damages you. And then you find yourself being all like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's going to come out in some sort of way. Then you're going to be unkind.
You're going to be resentful of.
You're going to be resentful.
Yeah, you are absolutely going to be resentful. Being kind to ourselves directly relates to the kindness and courtesy we show others, and thus enhances our relationships.
I really enjoy people who are kind to themselves. I find them to be the most pleasant of people, to be honest with you. People who kind of beat themselves up are different. I mean, you know, they're cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wonderful to be around all people. But there is something special about being around people who just really treat themselves well. That just emanates. You know what I'm saying? There's a way they carry themselves. There's a way that they, you know what I mean, kind of interact, and that they carry with them a joy that really is, you know, joy inspiring to be around. You know,
I have a girlfriend, Ninita, who does this all the time. Ninita, it doesn't matter what the moment is. If Ninita doesn't feel like doing it, just with a smile. I love you. I know we bought tickets. I'm not going. Too tired tonight. And she will stay in. Ninita has I'm talking about, we are some of her closest friends. We have been at her house. She'll be like, it's 9:00. It's Thursday night. It's time for you all to go home because I've got to sleep. I've got surgery in the morning. But it's such a real, she's
not an overly apologetic.
But you know what we will do is we'll be like, oh, these people in my house, I'm really tired. I really want to go. And we're just waiting on them to feel like,
and they're not even getting ready to be mad at your friends. They want you to be well for surgery tomorrow.
I want you to know that there is a lightness in, once people see you, that is your, they know. When people know that's your practice, this never feels like, oh, I cannot believe she asked me to go home. No,
Mm-hmm.
they know that's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if they choose you, then they're going to choose you even when you choose your kindness for yourself
Yes.
over your kindness
Yeah.
for them.
Which isn't really a kindness for them, if you think about it.
No.
Yeah. As a recovering people pleaser myself, I do think you also will go through a period, right? There's going to be a period where people are like, excuse me, because you are going to be you're going to look different. You know what I mean? You are going to be saying no. You are going to be going like, yeah, I'm not going to go to that. You are going to be like, I'm sorry, who are you talking to? You are going to have a different, what I mean, kind of way
It's different than how
of
you've
dealing.
shown up
Yeah.
before.
And so it might be a little, you know what I mean?
Can I
Like
sting
it
for
may
a
kind of be
second?
a little awkward and people are like, what's wrong with you? You know what? Just loving myself more. And this is who I am now.
Who's going to argue you on
I'm
that?
still awesome.
I can't believe you want to love
you
yourself.
want to draw boundaries. What? I'm on the outside of. Mm-mm. You can't draw your boundaries, but I'm inside the gate. I ain't outside these boundaries. All right. Being kind to the self also raises overall esteem and self-efficacy. People who are kind to themselves report statistically higher self-esteem, and then specifically like self-efficacy in particular areas. If you're kind to yourself vocationally, they report higher efficacy at work. If you're kind and gentle with yourself as a parent, and you forgive yourself for not knowing everything about parenting, right? You actually your efficacy as a parent actually increases.
Yeah.
Right. So it really helps to be kind to yourself in a real, observable way.
That's good. Yeah. Being kind to ourselves reduces the impact of environmental trauma. What often happens is that we compound the trauma by punishing ourselves in wake of it. So say more about that.
So instead of just like, something happened, right? Whatever it is, the guilt we have about it and the way we punish ourselves behind it then makes the whole thing much worse, right? We can't grieve because we're upset that we didn't have those last words with the person. That's just it's unkind. It's unkind to yourself after losing a loved one to then think of all the ways that you should have been a better, you know what I'm saying, spouse, child, you know what I'm saying, parent, whatever, to the person who's gone. It's you are now punishing yourself on top of grieving.
Yeah, I think in this season, I've been having this conversation in a lot of places about parenting and how. And let me just tell you, for all these people who think it gets easier as they get older, it does not. But what I have been in conversation with myself about, and not just in conversation with myself, but also my daughter's father, and just talking about like forgiving ourselves for what we didn't do and recognizing we still have time to do it. Like the idea that, oh, if I had just done this more, my child would be this person now. Well, if you do it now, they'll be that person then.
Go get started.
It can always happen, right? But I think once you set free this idea of thinking you had to be the perfect parent, we've said this in other episodes, and I believe this wholeheartedly. Every parent is doing the best with what they've got. If they knew better, they'd do better. And so you're always, and you can put in whatever verb you want, parenting, friending, loving. You always do it from the place of where you are. But if you're not kind with yourself, then you'll ruminate over the things that you did wrong. And then you never actually start to shift and do the real work that matters.
Right. And that's the compounding of the trauma.
Yeah.
Right. It's that I have to carry whatever the other emotions that, are fitting and valid. Right. And then I've got the guilt and the self-punishment on top of it. On top of all this, I'm going to be unkind to myself.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do in the wake of whatever it is that I'm dealing with. I now am going to assault myself emotionally.
And typically, y'all, when you're in those situations, somebody else is already being unkind to you.
I don't think you need more.
Why would you add unto it?
I don't think you need more.
But I'm going to tell you how you can stop somebody else. Or when somebody comes to you, when your child comes to you, well, if you had been a better mother. Hold on. I never told you I was perfect. Hold on now. You were expecting some things of me. I can tell you right now, I didn't have. You see the freedom that gives you right there?
Right.
Oh, I'm going to be kind to myself right now.
Gonna take
You
that
don't
right
have
on
it
off
right now,
table.
so I'm going to go ahead and give it to myself.
I'm gonna give it to
and
myself.
now we can move forward in this moment. Yeah.
It blocks you when you're unkind to yourself. It kind of blocks how you know
You
how
can't
take in
focus
things.
on anything else. You're so stuck in the idea of, oh, if I had done this differently. Oh, if I was a different person. Oh, if I showed up in a different way. You are perfect as is. That's the kindness to yourself.
And we didn't talk about this before, but I think we need a little charge here, for us to have a kindness ritual. You know what I mean? Like develop something where you are literally kind to yourself every single day. Just like whatever that is, if it is telling yourself affirmations, if it is, whatever your thing is, you know what I'm saying? If you're just like, I really like my shower and I just want to stay in there extra 5 minutes, build in the 5 minutes to stay in that shower a little bit longer. Do something kind for you.
Yeah. Speaking of charges, right now when this airs, we will be beginning either in this week or the next. We will be starting our group coaching, and we will be assigning joy charges all throughout the week. So if you want some of that, you need to make sure that you click the link in the bio and you go to our shopadjoy.com store and you go to the subscriptions and come on and be part of our group.
Yeah.
It's
about to be amazing.
It's called New Year, New You, New Joy.
Yeah. A little joy boot camp. Get your revved up in
joy boot camp
for the 2024.
Put a 99 in the 2000s.
99 in the We're old enough to say stuff like that. 99 in the 2000s. It's wonderful.
All right. So joy
All right,
journal.
so the
joy
journal. You have to have a little up at the end. So this week on the Joy Journal, we asked Joy Johns to give us not just kind of like random joy, random kindness things, but talk specifically about how they have been kind to themselves recently, right? What are some things they have done? They were kind to themselves. And we have Joy John Mia, an avid listener. She said, letting myself sleep. Listen, let the church say amen right there. Telling my friends I cannot make certain events and not feeling guilty about it. Just staying home, cleaning up my place, and resting. Do you know what a good feeling that is? Just to stay home, get your space together, and lay up in it. You don't want to go anywhere?
Let me tell you something.
I am going somewhere to this couch.
This couch, and that is my destination.
It's a VIP
and
section.
That is where. Do you see this velvet
There's
rope?
bottle service.
The couch is velvet.
In fact, walk over to it like this. Get you a drink from this kitchen.
Hold up your candles in your hand.
And you just do
coming over to my couch. Listen.
And just work your way down to the couch.
I have been, it's so interesting because I had surgery, so I had to lay down. It took my body a couple weeks to even get into rest mode. My body hasn't been used to resting.
Your body's like, what are you doing? What's happening? Are you okay?
What is happening?
Right?
And now my body naturally gets tired at a certain point. I naturally wake up when the sun rises. Like it's just, my body has kind of...
It's resetting.
It's reset itself. I'm not stressed about things because all I'm doing is taking time to just sit and be still. Get you a season where you just, whether you stay at home, whether you go to a hotel somewhere, whether you go travel, but specifically with the point of rest. That is being kind to yourself.
Go lay down. Go lay down. Yeah,
and then Joy John Ajani. He said, dinner for one and writing love notes to myself.
Sometimes he posts these online. Sometimes he'll just get on like Facebook or something. He just talk to himself positively. The reason why I like that too is not, I'm sure people are like, why would you say that out like positive? I think that it puts something out there. It's in the ether. It's putting out in the atmosphere this kind of radical kindness. We're used to people kind of coming on and going off on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like just taking themselves through the streets like Game of Thrones, and to have to see somebody shame, right? To see someone say, here's some things that I'm just going to celebrate about myself, and I just forgive myself. And his dinner for one, like it'll be elaborate. He'll make a reservation at a place. I mean, it's a whole thing. He put on something nice. Because it's not when we eat by ourselves, we hitting the Zaxby's drive-thru and shoving it into our mouths. Why do we get less value? You wouldn't want a date to take you and do that, So take yourself, put on your clothes, go on out there and enjoy your food.
I've heard on a similar note, someone recently talked about this on how she makes love to herself, like lights candles, like. Turns down the lights, puts on lingerie for herself. For herself. Has an entire moment. Runs the bubble bath. Does all of the things that, you would want someone else to do for you.
That standard is going to be right on and popping. When somebody comes to me like,
when
listen,
somebody
don't come
else
in here with no,
don't do
halfway.
Because now I've been doing this to myself.
I know how to celebrate myself.
And I know it takes me about 37 minutes.
No. I'm here with your 37 seconds. I
don't want no minute man. I don't want no minute man. Speaking of kindness to ourselves, huh? Well, on that note.
Be kind to yourself, people. The other words. I'm like,
break me off. Show me what you do. Cause I know